Hello, good evening, happy Friday. Welcome to the weekend and welcome to Fools Rush In on. Judging by what's going on off camera, it's going to be a very mischievous night with tonight's panel. Look forward to previewing the weekend's games, talking about the World Cup, and of course, we have been inundated with sort of unpopular opinions and questions all about the festive season, which I look forward to putting to tonight's panel. Before we say hello, as always, let's roll the titles.
Take my hand, take my whole life too, but I can't help falling in love with you.
It's Friday night, and that can only mean one thing. Hello and good evening, Joe.
Hi, mate. I was just singing the anthem there.
You sing it so beautifully as well.
Yeah, it's every time I hear it now, it's like a national anthem to me. So, yeah, good to be back on.
You just want to stand up and put your hand over your heart.
And to be funny, they were singing it at Crawley away a couple of weeks ago, and me and Rich were stood there, hand on heart, giving it the big one. So, yeah, good to be back on, and looking forward. It looks like it's going to be good fun tonight.
Yeah, absolutely delighted to have you back on it. And I know what you mean, actually, because I said when we did Bradford away and then when we did Mansfield away as well, and it was being sung, it just kind of made you think, oh, we've adopted it as kind of our song as well. So yeah, it's kind of nice. It just makes me shout it that extra bit louder when we're singing it. Someone else who looks like they need to do a bit of shouting just to warm themselves up. Evening, Nick. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm not bad, Fifey. It's been damn cold.
Everything's frozen.
Dog's a bit unhappy because he's only getting 2 walks a day instead of 3 because it's too cold in the afternoon. So tough luck. Lay down, be quiet. So yeah, apart from that, it's all's good.
I wish I was being taken for 2 walks a day and then being told I could lie down.
He ain't happy.
Delighted to have you back on, and hopefully tonight's sparkling conversation will warm you up, if nothing else, pal.
I'm sure it will.
At least for now, because I'm not sure what happened to our 5th panelist. So last but not least, the man who is a whole another year older since we last met him. Hello, Woody.
So you just stick it up there like that. Yeah, straight through the bottom. That's it. Sorry, they're putting the angel on the tree. How are we? All right?
Yeah, very well, mate. Yourself?
Yes, I'm good. Thank you. I'm good. 1 year wiser, 1 year funnier jokes, obviously.
Did you enjoy your birthday, other than the football? Because the football was shit for your birthday.
Literally, if sport wasn't part of my life, it would have been a perfect weekend. It was really nice to drink lots, eat lots, catch up with friends. But yeah, unfortunately, sport is in my life and did ruin it quite a lot. But hey, we move on. I never was for a World Cup in the winter, so I move on.
Well, let's move on indeed. And while we wait for potentially our 5th panelist to return, if he's coming back, we'll wait and see. Let's get straight on with tonight's conversation. Can we borrow a goal? Needless to say, we've discussed over the last couple of episodes the need to basically, for want of a better phrase, be better when it comes to creating converting chances. I saw a stat earlier today, which I retweeted out, that nobody in League Two has put in more crosses this season than Romeo Hutton, yet we're not converting them. Now, we spoke, didn't we, Nick, on Monday about are the crosses designed right for the forwards we've got, etc., etc. Woody, let me come to you first. How do we approach this to get a positive result tomorrow?
Well, it's difficult at the moment because arguably in ourselves we're so unpredictable. I think what Barrow, I'm trying to remember now what Barrow top 3 now, possibly top 4.
4.
Top 4, thank you. And so they're going to be well up for it. They're going to fancy their chances against against a side that they would definitely have tipped to be kind of top 3 potentially. So how do we approach it? it's difficult because I look back at last Saturday, and I know I wasn't on Monday, but I look back at last Saturday, and I just think that it doesn't seem. I know the stats the other way, it doesn't seem like we're creating, and I wonder if that's just because we haven't got that kind of excitement. It kind of feels we're labouring towards a goal at the moment rather than actually, trying to score at the best opportunities and things like that. And I think if I was to change anything at the moment, it is just I don't feel that we're taking opportunities. I don't even mind if we don't score them. It's more of the case that I always say to any of my strikers with any team I've ever coached. I'm not a professional coach by any means, but I always say don't take more than 2 touches in the box, and your second touch should normally be a shot. And I generally don't feel like we've got that approach at all. I think Steve on Monday nailed it right on the head. We kind of almost look like we're trying to score the perfect goal, and I just don't think, as much as I want us to be a good football inside, League Two to a certain extent is not the place to be trying to score a perfect goal. I think we need to kind of find that happy medium of, do we want to be a nice football inside, or do we want to get out of this league? There is a way we can be both. We were so close to it last season. Richie Wellens did it. We were decent to watch when Richie Wellens had it. So we have got, and I think I still genuinely believe we've got the players within it to do it. Yeah, we do need a couple of additions in January, but at the moment we've got to make do with what we got. But I do think that's strong enough to be scoring more goals than what we are. But more importantly, let's just take the chances rather than force them to create the perfect goal.
Do you agree with that assessment, Nick? Is that how you view it as well?
Yeah, Wood is spot on. But what I hate at the moment, in Lindsay talked about it on his press conference, we're so stats driven that you can forget about all the stats. Incursions into the box, crosses, shots, chances. Forget all that. The only stat that matters is the scoreline at the end of it. In Lindsay saying, "Oh, we played well at Crawley and we played okay against Wimbledon," and from a fan, it doesn't look like that. So, rip up that bloody spreadsheet, and let's get down. Is what he said. It's League Two football. We play the football in our half at the right times. But let's have a bit of go about us. Let's have a go at teams. From now on, we've got nothing to lose. We're on 32 points, 2 points behind Barrow. They've got a game in hand. When they lost their last game 5-0. So is this the perfect time to go and play them? Either they're going to come out after having a hell of a week being trained to the nth degree because they're getting hammered by Stevenage, or their confidence is going to be a bit low. They've looking at it. They've drawn 1 game, which is why they're where they are. They've won 11. They've lost 8 games. We've lost 5. So, if you want to look at stats, that gives us a decent chance. But it is that final third, what we do there. Agree with Woody. Just get your shots away. If it flies over the bar, 4 times out of 5, does it matter? If that 5th one goes in, that's what you want. So we have got to change the approach and get away from this. Oh, the stats look great. Well, the main stat isn't great.
Yeah, I think as well. Sorry, Fife. I was just going to say, I've kind of stopped looking at, and I know a lot of fans still talk about. I've stopped looking at the shots on target malarkey because I think I kind of agree with Lindsay to a certain extent that sometimes the shots on target is actually quite a false deliverable of what you're actually doing. And I do, it has convinced me a bit more with the expected goals, but it still feels that I think the fans need to pull away from. We've only had 8 shots on target, because if we had 8 shots on target and scored 7 goals, we wouldn't be shouting. We wouldn't be shouting about the shots on target. As Nick has said, it's more about just and unfortunately, whether you like it or not, that is where that expected goal stat comes in, because you kind of want to see those. I do want to see that go up, but I only want to see that go up when we start winning games. It's no good coming out to me and saying we had an expected goals of X, Y, Z when we didn't score any. The fundamental thing is still there. We're not scoring enough goals.
Joe, let me throw it over to you. Obviously, the main talking point for a couple of weeks now has been our potency or potential lack of in front of goal. But what in your opinion, if we're to impose whatever our style is, how do we go about that tomorrow?
I think we've got to get more people in the box. It's me and my mate were talking about this last week, and actually it's funny when I saw that stat with Hutton today, and half the time he's crossing the ball and there's one person stood in the box. And we don't have a big 6'3" striker or somebody. There's no late runs from midfield trying to win a header. There's one guy in the box against two massive centre halves. You got those guys in central midfield have got to try and get into the box. Running onto the ball. Yeah. So a lot of those, of those 141 crosses of Hutton, I bet 120 of them have been headed away by centre halves because there's nobody challenging them. And I think that's the problem. We're too reliant on Jeffcott to get goals, but we're also using him coming deep, trying to get the ball, hold the ball up, and link the play. And he can't do both. I'm going to be a little bit controversial here, but like Wakeland, I think he's been in pretty poor form the last few games. I know he got a goal 2 or 3 games ago, whenever it was, but he hasn't been offering a lot during the games for me personally in the last 5-6 weeks. Whether it's tiredness or just out of form, I'm not sure. But there just seems a lack of like a Lampard. You imagine like Lampard, how he used to get his goals.
Yeah,
a player like that running into the box, trying to even not necessarily winning the first ball, but winning. When the defender's headed it away or half headed it away, there's somebody there to get on the end of it. But they're all too busy stood in midfield watching for my liking.
Just because I've had a couple of messages just in this opening segment, just to explain to people who perhaps are slightly newer, with the technology we use for doing the streaming, Facebook Live and YouTube comments do come up and we can flash them up on the screen. We can all see them. If you are watching on Twitter, for whatever reason, it doesn't work with Twitter. We can stream live, but we can't see the Twitter comments. We can see tweets, but not Twitter comments. So if you do want to join the conversation, Facebook and YouTube is definitely the best places to do that from. Ben, welcome, Ben. You're back. Hello. How are you, buddy?
Not bad. Long day, bit chilly, but all good.
I want to talk to you about Barrow, but before that, I want to come on to the point Joe was just making as you came on there, because I know when we signed Jeffcott, you were like the biggest cheerleader of all the Swindon fans, saying what a great sign this was. And Joe isn't. I've had a few people message through our social media saying, do we think we're either getting the best out of him or he's not as good as we thought he was? As someone who was so positive about him signing, where did you stand on that particular debate at the moment?
Well, he's not missed a lot of chances because he's not actually had many chances, to be fair. We're not really creating much in front of goal for him to have much of an impact. He's a sort of a finisher and as a fox in the box, but he's also still quite young, so he's also not going to dominate games. So he's probably lacking of confidence a little bit now because nothing's breaking for him. He must be quite a frustrated young figure, and he doesn't really quite know what he's getting his head around because he was painted this picture to come to Swindon. We're going to be free-throwing attack inside, and you're going to get all these chances and score all these goals, and it's just not happening. So he's probably just feeling a little bit, just a little bit confused, maybe even a little bit disappointed that it's not worked out the way he wanted it to. And he needs a break. He needs a little run of goals. We need to be playing better football. We need to be creating more chances. And I reckon as soon as he gets 1 or 2 and starts getting into a routine and a flow, he'll be brilliant again. But he just looks like a player devoid of all confidence and doesn't feel like he's going to. He doesn't look like he believes he's going to score every game, and it's not happening. Same with Wakeland as well. I totally agree with Joe's point of Jake Wakeland. Since the autumn rolled in, he's not done, if anything, at all. I think he scored 1 goal since his unbelievable start. But then he's a young player, and you can't expect a 20-year-old to go from an academy to become your main striker and your main top scorer and your main assist player. That's just too much. He's going to have spells out the team, and he's going to have good bits and bad bits. He needs a big and experienced striker to talk him through it. And to like Jerry Yates said, Owen Doyle. Jerry Yates spoke so positively of Owen Doyle, because he just talked them through the game. To the games is where you need to be. You know, this is what would you do in this situation? What would you do differently next time? And he'll coax them through. And Jerry's done many interviews like that, and that's what both of them need, because they're both young players. But we don't have that. We don't have that older striker. There is one that's been bantered about. I'm not sure anyone's heard of before, but we'll see what happens there.
Again, I will come back to you, Ben, specifically on Barrow, but with this being the current discussion point amongst the panel, let me flash Claire's question up here. On current form, would you try and keep Jeffcott or look for a replacement? Let's go around everyone. Joe?
Yeah, I don't think he's done anything wrong. I think when we signed him, he was paraded as this fox in the box. You know, given the ball in the box, he's going to score goals. And what have we not done? We've not given him the ball in the box.
Yeah,
not to his feet. Not, you know, we're putting high crosses into the box. That's not his strength. We need to get him the ball to his feet, in and around the box, let him run. And he strikes me as an Owen Doyle type that's going to finish with one touch. Does that make sense? You know, running onto the ball, one touch, bang, goal. And we just haven't done that enough, and that's no fault of his. You know, he works hard and he's an honest guy, and you know, I'd be more than happy to keep him, but he does. I think he needs some help up there for sure.
Nick?
Yeah, I agree. When he signed, Plymouth fans were saying, well, don't expect him to do a lot of work off the ball. He's not that sort of player. He will stand in and around the 6-yard box. But for us, he's been forced out to do that extra hard work because the ball's not coming in. So he's hunting the ball, which isn't his game. So we're not playing to his strengths. I would say keep him. He's only, 22, I think. So, you know, he's not so he's getting into the latter stage of his career. If he had somebody alongside him that can guide him and mentor him and, you know, teach him some of the dark arts in positional play, etc., he's going to turn into a decent player. But at the moment, he's not being used to his strengths. And, you know, you got to feel for the kiddie that he's come here to do a job, but he's being forced into doing something outside of what he's probably good at. But yes, I would keep him.
Okay, Woody?
Yeah, similar to Nick, mainly looking at his age because he's only 22. I'd probably look at him. I'm starting to, you know, kind of agree that him and Wakelin probably don't work now. It did work for a while. I don't think we can sit there and say that we all knew it wasn't going to work because we were crying out for it to happen. But I think, the predicament comes is obviously he's from a higher league, so his wages are going to be quite high. Higher. So it's whether I would want to, because if we sign him as kind of the permanent, it'll be him or Wakelin, I imagine, starting most games. And I guess from my point of view, putting my business hat on, I'd say keep Wakelin and spend the wages that we would have spent on Jeffcott to improve getting in someone alongside Wakelin. Not again, I agree with Joe. Jeffcott's not really done anything wrong. He scored five goals in 11 or whatever. But I just think that with my kind of salaried hat on, just kind of thinking, I've got a horrible feeling it will go down to Jeffcott or Wakelin, and I feel that it would be a waste to just not play Wakelin because we're playing Jeffcott, and vice versa. So I think it really depends on, you know, obviously we know the name that's being branded around, but even if we do get another experienced striker come in, I think it really depends on whether that happens or not.
Okay, Ben, I will come to you and ask you as I flash the comment up from Claire here. I think if I stood in the box and asked for the ball to feet, I might be able to score the odd goal or two. Personally, would like to see him do more. She'd love to eat humble pie, though.
Yeah, I'd absolutely sign Jeffcott because in a successful team creating lots of chances, he scores lots of goals. I would like a bit more of an experienced player to play with him. I'd also like to keep Jake Wakelin.
Don't want a lot, do you, Ben?
But, you know, he might not. That might be the perfect world. We might not be a big enough club to support all that and have someone like that. You know, in a wonderful world. You know, ideally, I'd like to have them three and probably send Jake Wakelin out on, if we were in League One, on loan to a League Two club for 6 months and have him come back even better. But yeah, we can't do that. So it's a conundrum. I'd still like to keep both and have another striker and just rotate Wakelin and Jeffcott.
And I'm presuming, therefore, Tommy doesn't fit in your plans anywhere.
Well, Toby's confident, bless him. I think Saturday spelt out his days are over because we were desperate for a goal, searching for a goal. We had number 9 on, and we stick a player who was at Banbury, a winger from Banbury, on up front instead of a number 9 who we desperately needed. So I think that just spells out the confidence the manager has in Adeloy. I think he's going to be made way in January just so we can fit others in, which is sad because it's unlucky for him because he's never had that run. He had an injury at a horrible time, and I don't think he's not started a game, has he? Bless him. But I don't think he's done the business at training as often as he should have. I think he'd do wonderful. I think bloke needs a loan somewhere and then a good club that'll play him regularly. Maybe someone at Hartlepool will take him in and he'll do quite well there. But
okay.
I'm afraid not.
Sticking with you then, Ben. Where do you see as the key areas for Swindon tomorrow?
Key areas for tomorrow?
Yes.
Things we have no idea what the squad will be because he kept his cards close to his chest. We don't know who's back, we don't know who's not. We don't know if he picked up any injuries yet, so it's hard to tell who's playing. Again, I'm going to say it another time. I think it's about time we change formation to a 4-4-2 diamond. We're not going to, but I would like to see us
play. If you watched it at Stockport, Ben, you'd never want to play it again.
I know the Stockport, but that was. That Stockport was.
For every Stockport, there's a Mansfield.
Yeah, I think we watched enough shit playing 3-5-2, and 4-3-3 is playing too many players out of position, and I think 4-4-2 diamond just does fit. We have got wing backs that can bomb on. If he really wants to play, who's that Tottenham lad? What's his name? Lavinia, he can play as a wing back on the left if he really wants to do that, and so they can just be overlapping on each side. They can run all day, both of them, and then you can have Reedy, protecting the back two if needs be, but also going up supporting the other strikers. We can have 2 decent centre mids. I think Khan might be back. I don't know the concussion thing. I think he's probably one of them might be back or not. I think he'll be superb. I think it's about time we see Aguiar get a game. I'd like to see him back. I don't think Ricci's done for a while. I think just give him a chance in there, spray him about. He pops up with the odd goal as well, and he shoots. Aguiar shoots. I think we all forget that he creates space for himself and he shoots. We don't have any of that. And we've got the top that we usually do with Williams behind, who can play with both feet and he can just have the freedom of the pitch. Let's see what happens. We might create a couple of leave this a bit open at the back, but I think we'll create some more chances. And I think teams devoid of all confidence. So just spells in the game where it's high tempo and we're on top of someone for 5-10 minutes. That'd be nice. So that's what I think they should do. What they will do is they'll play 4-3-3. And I think we'll see more of the same.
We're in danger again, I think. So let's give the respect where it's due. Is it a case of Swindon asserting their game on the opposition, or do we need to respect how well Barrow are doing so far this season, Woody, and be aware of what their strengths are?
I think you're always going to be aware of what the opposition's strengths are, but I think and I've said this before, I think if we want to become a team gunning for promotion, whether that's playoffs or automatic, we need to stop worrying about the opposition and start playing to what our strengths are. If that means conceding a couple of goals because we've scored 4, I don't really care. I do find myself agreeing with Ben on this one. I think that I think what we should be doing is looking for a bit more attacking intent. I know Wakelin was there for a little bit. Was Hutton there as well last season? Was it Hutton that was at Barrow? Yeah.
Full season.
So hopefully, 2 players that might have a bit of a point to prove as well. So why don't we utilise that? It's I've kind of forgotten what your question was now, Fifey. But
just being aware of Barrow's game plan and their strengths and adapting our style to make sure we don't play into theirs.
I also think we've got to consider that the pitch will be different tomorrow than what Barrow or us have played on, because if it's playable, it's going to be damp. It's going to be, kind of boggy because of obviously all the frost and then all of that settling onto it. And then it's going to, if it is playable, it'll be because it's thawed out and gone all boggy. So I don't really see a fixed game plan. I think Barrow play relatively decent football now. I don't think they are a who-fit team that they used to be. So, hopefully, I've said this so many times this season, but if we take our game to them, our game, whatever our game is, if we take our intent, if we take our intent of what we think we should be playing, and they play that way, it might even be a decent game of football for the guys travelling up there. But I think we need to stop worrying necessarily about the threats. If we genuinely think we're a team that need to be in that top 3 or top 7 to a certain extent, then we need to utilise our strengths and play to our strengths and get the other team worrying about us.
Joe, as far as I understand, at time of obviously doing this, the game is still on. There is a pitch inspection, I believe, scheduled for 9:30 in the morning. With the way games last weekend and already this weekend have been getting postponed left, right, and centre, do you see this? Do you see this being played, or do you have a concern that it won't be?
I mean, Barrow are obviously pretty confident. They've taken the covers and everything off, so I think the temperatures actually up there are bizarrely a lot warmer than they are here. So I guess
1 degree, I believe, tonight.
And I think they're due rain in the morning, so I mean that's going to thaw things out. So, but they're obviously, if they've taken the frost sheets off, they're obviously confident that they think the game's going to go ahead. Hopefully it does, because by 9:30, people are going to be probably 3 hours into their journey up, and they're going to be turning around and coming home. So, like I agree with Woody. Even if it is on, it's going to be probably sticky, boggy, horrible pitch, which is going to make it probably difficult to really play our style, our passing style,
our pass and score style.
Yeah, pass style.
Crab football. Crab football.
But generally speaking, this season we've done pretty well against the teams that are at the top. So, that's probably because they're a little bit more attacking. There's a few more gaps for our little short balls to actually open up. So, bizarrely, with the run we're in, I'm actually relatively confident about tomorrow.
Okay, that's good.
I might be very disappointed by this time tomorrow night, but I just think with the way we've had tough away trips already. Bradford, for example, that everyone thought we were going to get mullered in, and we've turned up and played well and done well against Orient. Mainly the top teams we've sort of performed pretty well against. So, it's just interesting. I agree with Ben. I think I'd stick Aguiar in, just give him a go, and he is that player I was talking about. He'll arrive into the box and he'll get on the end of things. Yeah. And, if we win 1-0 and Aguiar scuffed one in from 18 yards, then that's happy days, isn't it?
Absolutely. Nick, let me bring you in on the debate in midfield as I flash another comment up from Claire. Reed showed glimpses of his old self last week with no Khan in the squad. Whether that's connected or not, she's not sure. So we've got the Reed situation, which seems to get discussed every week, if not every other week. We've got Aguiar being thrown into the mix. Williams is back from obviously the World Cup and back involved in the squad. What do you see as the right way to go with the midfield options?
I think at the moment the panel's being a bit like Swindon. We're all too nice at the moment. Everybody's agreeing, so we'll have to put a stop to that a bit later. Otherwise, we'll get criticised. It wouldn't hurt to put Aguiar in. Obviously, Williams will play. We don't know about Gladwin. We don't know whether he's fit. And as Ben said, Will Khan be back with the concussion protocols. Probably be a bit early for him to come back, to be honest. I'd like to keep Reedy in the side. We want to have a bit of battle in there. I mean, you look at it sometimes and it doesn't seem to make a great deal of difference what combination we use. We still do exactly the same things. what was it, signs of madness, or keep doing the same things and expecting something different to happen. So we have got to change what we do. Now, whether that's somebody like Aguiar, and there's a good point made that, yeah, he does run from deep, and we've certainly been missing that. We've had nobody supporting the front one or two and picking those, loose balls up on the edge of the box and giving it a go. So I think the pitch is already been talked about, will probably play a big part in it. I think last season, I think it was at the game that it just absolutely hammered down all game. And, that obviously didn't help that game. And they forecast rain up there again tomorrow. So the pitch could have a big bearing on it. So whether that dictates any team that Lindsay puts out, and I guess it's who he's got available. The midfield's not such a concern for me. I'm more concerned with what he does at the back. And I'd like to see McDonald back, get him on the pitch. Let's have a bit of leadership back there. And, we want someone who's going to battle and get a foot in. So, but if he goes back three again, we ain't going to get anything.
No.
Well, Ben, let me bring you in there because we've spent a fair portion of this period talking about sort of further forward. How confident are you in what's going on further back in the Swindon team at the moment?
How confident I am with tomorrow, or
just generally in terms of the defence? I mean, obviously we're still chopping and changing players.
I think for this level, our squad is pretty good. I think there's good strength and depth. I think it's good enough to challenge the top 7, be where we are, probably. I think there's the potential to be better. I'm not going to harper on, but I think everyone knows my current view on the manager at the minute. And I think we are where we are despite him rather than because of him. I think we obviously need changes, which is a shame because if you asked me 2-3 months ago, I'd say we need 1 or 2. But now I think we need 5 or 6. So that January's coming at the right time, and hopefully we've not lost too much in touch with the top 7 when the time comes. But I think there needs to be a little surgery, and some of the players that came in the summer might need to go away again, unfortunately, quite quickly. But needs must for a successful football club. And we're okay. We're a mid-table team in the minute, but there's the potential to do better.
Claire again there saying full defence were our strongest third of the squad last week, and with Minturn being recalled and Lindsay non-committal on returning injury players, do you think the defence lineup will be the same? Woody?
And I think this kind of repeats a little bit what Ben was saying in terms of this is why I think it'll be unchanged. I think one of the biggest positives last week was our back, was the defence. They did do well last week. It was our strongest part of our game, really. Which then does lend itself to whatever we played at the back last week. I don't think it was. Was it 3 at the back last week? We played 4.
No, it was 4-3-3 last week.
Yeah. But obviously it'd be good. I agree. I think it'd be good to have McDonald back if he is fit. Mainly not just because of what he could offer, but also just to kind of get Blake Tracy back out on that fullback again.
Yeah.
And more than anything, I think.
Don't you think he'll play Blake Tracy and McDonald though? Wiley on centre back. I'd like to see Blake Tracy back on the left because he gives us some. Because we're all one-sided, we're all lopsided at the minute. It's all down the right. Blake Tracy evens it out because he gets a quality ball in. But I'm thinking through. I'm trying to think for the manager and his trends, and I think he quite liked Blake Tracy at the back. So I don't think he's going to move him out personally.
I think he quite, unless I'm missing something, doesn't he quite like Brennan as well?
He likes Brennan too. Yeah, he does.
So whereas, I mean, I think genuinely we can start to really put question marks on if he's got 2 centre backs available and he puts a left back at centre back instead of one of our, and then obviously he's recalled Minturn as well, which probably suggests that
he's going to play free again.
well, it actually suggests. I'm hoping I'm right, and it suggests to me that he wants Minturn on the bench so we can put McDonald on.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping. And then
let's just throw into there. Sorry to interrupt, Woody. Let's just throw into there that a few of us have suggested in the early part of the season that Minturn would be quite useful in a holding midfield role as well. So there is that potential.
Yes, that is true, but I don't think that's why he's been recalled. I think he has been recalled because of Baldry's injury.
Yeah.
And arguably actually because of Clayton as well, because obviously Clayton and Minton are that type of player. They can play in the centre back and they can play in holding midfield. So I wouldn't disagree with that. But I'm just hoping. I'm hoping, although I can never dig into the mind of Scott Lindsay sometimes, I am hoping that it is a case that McDonald's fit. He starts McDonald and Brennan at centre back, assuming I'm not missing any other centre backs. Pushes and then hopefully gets Hudson back out right and Blake Tracy out on the left. I can't see how the rest of the lineup would look going forward if he played three at the back. That's my concern. I can't. I think if he plays three at the back, it's very defensive, and I just think that I can't see a benefit. I can't put that three together. I'm not a fan of Lavigne out on the left either on his weaker foot, especially if he's going to be playing in a wing back role. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Fingers crossed, though. From my point of view, fingers crossed. Hopefully, it's McDonald's.
Let's go round then and ask for people's predictions. Ben, I'll start with you this week, please.
I usually I've been quite doom and gloom a bit of recently. I've been quite down on the team. I think we might shithouse one. I think Barrow might be the better team and create more chances, but I think we might nick one off Aguilar's knee in the 70th minute and nick it 1-0 with a bit of this shithouse. We'll have most possession, but I think we'll have 3 shots and goal and score one of them. Well, they might have a few, and I think we'll hang on. I think we might nick this, I've just got this gut feeling. Gut feelings have been quite negative recently. I think we might nick one. I think we win 1-0.
Joe?
I sort of agree with that, to be honest. As I said a minute ago, even though we've been pretty poor the last few games, I do feel generally quite confident tomorrow. So I'm going to go for 2-1 though.
Okay. Let's ask Nick next.
Well, it's just all agreements tonight. I'll exactly say what Ben has said. I think we might just nick a 1-0 for a change. Let's have a scruffy, horrible, rubbishy, worst game you've ever seen. 1-0, rubbishy goal.
Okay.
Be happy with that.
Well, on that note,
get 3
Woody,
points.
On that note, Woody, when I ask you for your prediction, speaking of scruffy, horrible, how about it's going to be Shea Thunderbolt winner again, isn't it?
He wasn't even on the bench last week, was he?
He started.
Did he?
He started. Yeah.
There you go. I was at the game. Granted,
Yeah, he had a one shot on target. He had a one shot, and actually, it was a pretty good save. Sade.
Shade.
He'll start tomorrow, by the way.
Oh, if he fucking starts.
He will.
Craig suggesting 1-2 Barrow if he plays. 3 at the back. I thought he meant Shade. I didn't see the punctuation. 1-2 Barrow if he plays. 3 at the back. 1-1 if not. I genuinely thought Craig was saying 1-2 Barrow if Shade plays.
Well, one's quite confident for Craig,
Because we all think it's going to be a close game, I think we're going to win 3-1.
Lovely.
Wow.
We need a goal. We need a game where we're going to score a few goals, and I think tomorrow might be that game.
I'm going to go.
Lindsay came out in the press. He said, "We've got another Mansfield coming," and it went, "Really?" It's taken us about 4 games to muster as many goals as shots on goal.
I'm going to go for a 2-0 Swindon win. Let's have some positivity. But it's not just the men's team playing this weekend, weather permitting, of course. Swindon Town women have 2 games this weekend, Woody. It's 2, isn't it? I've not missed a third one.
Yep. No, it is 2. The under-18s, I believe, are on their break now. So the first team have Southampton. I think they call themselves Southampton Sirens now.
Yes, they do.
To differentiate themselves from the other Southampton sides. In the plate, I think it is.
It is. At noon on Sunday?
At noon at Eastleigh as well, So that, hopefully, fingers crossed, that means the game might be on. for them. And if the weather predictions are right, it would be just before the downpour as well, which is decent. And then the Devs have a home tie with Keynsham, who they beat. I should know because it was one of the last games I was there, but I've forgotten what the score was. Who they beat earlier in the season, but then they did have Annie Colston playing for him. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. That's a down Amney at 2:00. So yeah.
Good luck to the men's team and both of the women's teams this weekend. Then hopefully we can start getting some festive cheer back in amongst the podcast with some positive performances and positive results. Let's certainly hope so. Should we move on to some general STFC talking points? I mean, we did joke off air that we could ask Ben to start this off by discussing the ticket office and how his day went today. But instead, as you guys have already skipped ahead of me and spoke about Minturn, should we start with a docu-series? And I did see, I just need to scroll back up and find the comment, which I believe came from Charlie. Any of the panel watched the documentary yet? My opinions are it's all right. Now, I believe the answer to that question is yes, Woody and Joe have. So, Joe, would you like to go first?
Yeah, I think all right is probably the right word to use. This, for me personally, it's a bit of a stomach or nothing. Me and Woody were discussing between us, but me and Woody both said that probably the Angus MacDonald episode is by far the best episode in my opinion. You know, an insight into what that guy's had to go through in his career, and to still have the drive and the you know, that he's willing to still play the game after everything he's been through. Then I'd take my hat off to the guy, and I've nothing but good things to say about him. The other episodes are just a bit nothing really. Just there's nothing there that we haven't been shown before or been told before. Nobody said anything on any of them. Not so went, oh well, that's interesting. It's sort of covered everything that we've already heard, and you know, hopefully the next 5, whenever they're coming out, hopefully there'll be a bit more behind the scenes footage as such. But yeah, it's nice. I mean, fans like it, don't they, to see things behind the scenes and bits and pieces. But yeah, it didn't. We didn't learn anything. Put it like that.
Okay.
I would like to watch it. I'd like a series that has to come out 2 or 3 latest when all the players are no longer at the club. And then you get a proper documentary where you have the arguments, the throwing, the arguing in the changing room, the teacup throwing, the tactics beforehand, the disagreements, who gets on with who, the proper what's it like, rather than the sort of candy floss that is. Because it's being released mid-season, and it is this season. It's going to be like childlike documentary, isn't it? It's not what's really going on, it's what the club's allowing you to see. So it's gonna be great for kids, but it's not what we want. We want dirt, we want arguments, we want fallouts, we want to know what's people's thinking, we want to know what happened at half time, we want to know why we played so bad in the second half and so well in the second, or vice versa. We want to see McCurdy throwing milkshake. I want to see that happen there. I want to see his bollocking. I want to see all that, but that can't be shown to everyone's left. So
yeah, but the trouble is, Ben, they're all too nice. It don't happen.
Yeah, but I want to.
It's all too nice, nicey nice.
So it's not even like that Swindon documentary we got for it. It's just a candy floss pop doc. So it's for kids, but it's probably something to do. But I'm not paying for it.
Woody, just before I ask you your opinion, I don't know if the answer to that was yes or no, but I did flash up this comment from Claire. Was there any injury update on Megan? Do you know?
I want to assume she actually means Emily. I could be wrong. I haven't seen an update, but then obviously they haven't played. So I think obviously Grace Kazir played in goal in the game the other week. That went into a penalty shootout, but I don't know if that was already in the plans or whether that was because Emily was still injured. I'm going to assume it's Emily still injured. The only thing I do know about it is that it's not as bad as it looked when we went to the game. That's the only thing I do know. But yeah, unfortunately, I haven't caught up with them.
It was Emily.
Yeah, but that's as far as I know. But she's a strong egg, is Emily. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see her in the turn of the year.
Okay, and your thoughts on the docu-series thus far?
The more and more I thought about it, I'm going to be honest. This pains me to say it because it is our club. I'm a bit disappointed. I think, and I was when we were talking off air, I was trying to think of what I would compare it to, and I think I've come to the conclusion. You know, like when you apply for a job and they have like an onboarding video or something like that to kind of try and sell the company to you, or it could be on your first day and you get a video from from the very corporates. It reminded me a lot of that. Like I agree with, I think Joe said that one episode particular about Angus MacDonald I thought was pretty good. I thought that one was really good. I say really good compared to the other four. But yeah, I'm with Ben, and I don't necessarily agree that they have to wait to the end of the season to show some of that stuff. I mean, it's not if you. I watch a lot of like docu-series for non-league and stuff like that. I don't know if anybody follows like the Bunch of Amateurs series with Dorking Wanderers and stuff like that. That's all this season, and that's that is like kind of halftime team talks. And I get why they can't do all of that sometimes, but it didn't feel like, for me, it doesn't feel like a behind-the-scenes documentary. I kind of almost expected, maybe my expectations were too high, but I almost kind of expected to see maybe Clem and Rob having those kind of awkward conversations and just get a general feel of a real kind of behind the scenes documentary. For me, it was just an interview, a bunch of interviews with individual members. The one on Sandra Din McKaylee was a waste of time. If you want to save AEP, don't watch that one. But it's I'll probably still be a bit of a con and watch the other five when they come out.
Well, you're invested thus far.
Yeah. But I don't know. It did feel a bit disappointing. I think I'm not expecting the all or nothing series. Don't get me wrong, but when you think of Sunderland Till I Die, what level was Sunderland when they did that League One?
League One.
So the production is there for somebody, and I feel like the big hype that they had beforehand and all that, in my opinion, it was a little bit of a letdown. Don't get me wrong; it's nice to see Swindon getting a little bit of something, but that's the other thing for me. It's on that bloody recast app thing that nobody ever watches. I think when I went on there earlier, the last thing on there was something like the third kit from last season's launch or something like that, and it's just like it almost. I should have really looked at the warning signs when that came out to say it's on recast. I was just like, yeah, why is this thing not on, even if it's just direct to our website, but why is it not? Why can't they bring it out and get some real production team behind it? Because when they were talking about it months ago, that's how they made it sound. I think there was talk about Paramount Plus doing it and all that kind of stuff, like Discovery Plus did with Dulwich Hamlet and stuff like that. I don't understand why we couldn't be a club that could attract that. It's a very attractive story. Our recovery is a very attractive story for a football fan. So yeah, I don't understand why. Yeah, it just wasn't. It didn't. It hasn't. So I'll watch it, but just because I want to see if the next five are better.
Here's an interesting one for you, Joe. Claire's really trying to stir the pot tonight. Do you think it's been edited before release because of recent results and fan backlash?
Yeah, definitely. And I think there seems to be a lot of stuff coming out of the club now that is very heavily edited or very heavily, dare I say, scripted by the club. There's no, even BBC don't ask any serious questions today. They don't. It's always the same old guff after every match when you listen to the BBC Wiltshire. How did you play? What do you think of the game? Blah, blah, blah. See you later. Thank you. See you next week. There's never any hard hitting journalism. And I agree with Ben. I want to see some of that. You want to see people falling out, because for me that shows that they care. If you see two players having a fight in the changing room, well, not necessarily a fight, but you have two players in the changing room shouting across at each other, not agreeing with each other. For me, that's a good thing. That's what I want to see. I want to see players that are passionate. I want to see players
Well,
it just
put it
seems-
this
Well,
way.
that's Charlie Austin, Brisbane
Well,
Roar
it's
thing with that
literally-
defender
yeah.
as well.
yeah,
That
exactly.
little moment. Yeah,
That's
that sort of thing you want to
that
see.
sort of thing. And that's not. I'm not saying you got to publish two players beating each other up, because obviously you're not going to show that. But there's no harm in showing Angus MacDonald giving Jake Wakeland a bollocking, for example, because he hasn't tracked back, or because he hasn't done this, or because he hasn't done that. There's no issue in that for me. And I think, unfortunately, that series is playing out how our team's playing on the pitch. It's just too nice, too soft. And I think that, yeah, I seriously hope that it is a lot more. What's the word I'm looking for here? Not as nice as that all the time.
Gritty.
But yeah. I hope there is those moments in training where there is players that are a little bit edgy. You just want to see people standing up to each other and disagree, and it's just all a bit nice. And the team on the pitch is it's playing out the same. We're getting run over by teams, these nasty teams. They're just bullying us, and it just seems that is a bit of a culture at the club at the moment.
No, that's absolutely fair.
It seems as well that the timing of it being brought out is very strange as well. I think looking at it
I
myself,
know. I don't know if someone's got it playing in the background. I could hear an echo coming through.
might be gone now. Yeah, I think it's
It's
gone
gone
now. But yeah, the timing itself was quite strange as well. And I think you look back at, and I say give too much away, as Joe said, we don't know anything. But when you look at like the Angus episode, that was clearly kind of finished, a week or two ago. I just feel that maybe, and I know it's really easy to compare, but when you think of like NFL fans, when you're thinking of like Hard Knocks and stuff like that, they could have brought out kind of the pre-season is what we really want to see. What's happening kind of in pre-season, all of these negotiations, all of these fallouts on the trade, because they will be happening. And then bring that out at Christmas, and then make it quality, really good to watch. Not 10-minute episodes. Make it like 45-minute, 5 episodes, whatever. And then bring out another 5 episodes in Easter. I'd rather have that rather than have kind of 5 10-minute episodes, which is basically 10 minutes that they've not recorded, but 10 minutes that they've produced every month of the season. It just feels a bit rushed. It feels a bit kind of, we want to get something out there to, because we haven't got any good news stories. We want to pull away the attention from Scott Lindsay, and we want to pull away the attention from the Charlie Austin story. That is genuinely, as a fan, how I feel. That's why that's come out when it has, because there's a lot of attention that can go spiral, can go downwards with Swindon at the moment, and I think that is why it feels like that's been brought out right now on the whatever it was 15th of December, which is a really strange time to bring it out.
Okay. Next up, while we're doing general conversation, I was asked specifically if I would show this little post from Joe and just highlight the work done in the community. She's just completed her course and basically raves very, very highly about it. I will just bring up the message here that I got sent as well. Just to try and do it the justice. Again, I don't know enough about this to fully explain and detail, but just for anyone watching, and that might be a little bit small, Joe's post, I cannot recommend this course enough. No diets, no fads, just proven education that makes you think smarter about food, exercise, and most of all, you. She's fallen in love with food again. It's not the enemy. She's even quit the dunkers. Got jogging for the first time in a very long time. And she said, please register for the next course. You won't regret it. And the guys running the course are awesome. So again, you can find all the details about that through the Swindon Town Community Foundation social media pages. I'm sure most, if not everyone watching will if not personally, they'll know through, again, social media, Joe and Mark, and they'll all be able to pass on the relevant information and contact details. But if it is something in the new, a lot of people will do the new year, new you. Why not do something that's genuinely got people some results and a proven track record, if that's what you want to do?
Fifey, I've got a question for Joe.
Okay.
now she's gone all healthy. Does that mean no pigs in blankets at Northampton?
No, I've had it.
No.
I've had it on. I've had it very, very, very well confirmed that there will be pigs in blankets. Don't you worry about that.
Good.
For want or for fear of going over new ground or old ground, even let's try and get this right. Charlie Austin continues to be the talk of Twitter and other social media platforms. There you go, Nick. There's Joe. Pigs in blankets, defo. She can't let us down now. She's been trying to entice more people bowling by saying that pigs in blankets are going to be there. But yes, so Charlie Austin continues to be the talk of social media. We know since we streamed on Monday, it's been confirmed that he's leaving Brisbane Roar. He's played his last game today. There's been a lot of suggestion online that fans want him back and believe that Clem would have been having meetings with him to bring him back. There is obviously been rumours of Bristol Rovers amongst other clubs as well. So I suppose the question is, without talking about what he brings and covering the same ground that we've already done, and obviously other Swindon Town podcasts have also spoken about at length as well. Just your gut feel, guys. Do we think that it's coming, that Charlie's coming back as you've seen things go out through the week? Woody?
Yes, I've got a good feeling. I think we will see him in the Swindon shirt.
Nice, just straight to the point. That's what we like, Woody. Love it.
That's what you asked, wasn't it? That's what you asked.
That's fine. That's fine. No, I went with that thinking you'd go a bit longer than yes.
Only because I talked myself out of it, otherwise.
Yeah, this is always the danger, isn't it? Ben?
I've changed my mind about 3 or 4 times over the last few days. It's broke to absolutely he's coming to, no chance. So it's a pipe dream. But at this moment in time, I think it's a real possibility that that no one officially from the club has gone, look, he doesn't fit it's not going to happen, lads. It's not happening. The presser yesterday, where he had the opportunity just to completely kill it dead, and he didn't. In fact, he just sort of went, I'm not talking about transfer targets now. I think there's probably going to be conversations. I hope we pull it off, because all that we said today, he brings, like the experienced striker to play alongside what we've got up front at the minute. That's needed. Someone who can be a bit nasty and knows the dark arts of the game. He brings that. He's a natural leader, something we need in the dressing room to stir things up. He's got that. He's got everything. He'll bring the fans back. He'll pick the atmosphere. He'll immediately pick up. It'd just be such a shot in the arm, even if he's just in the dressing room and around the club. It'd be huge. But it's still a long way off yet. Reading might come along and just go, Charlie, here you go. Whatever they're earning, we'll triple it, and you'll play every week. There you go, sign it, play in the championship, and then he goes somewhere else. So it's a long way off. So try not to get overexcited, but there is a possibility that he might be a Swindon player.
I like that you've done the complete opposite of Woody and gone really in depth on your.
Yes.
Nick, I'll come to you as I flash up the comment there from Craig saying, no, I think we'd heard something a bit more solid by now. Of course, it's a possibility, but truly don't think Dee McKaylee wants him. Craig thinks he'll go to Derby.
I would like to think it's going to be a yes. Like say, people have said he doesn't fit the Swindon model, but you could argue that Johnny Williams doesn't, no. Ben Gladwin doesn't, no. Angus MacDonald doesn't. Yeah. You don't need 11 to fit that model. You need 5, 6, 7, develop, sell, get profit, bring others in. And then you need the old heads around them. So the argument that he doesn't fit the model, to me, doesn't stack up. So if that's one that McKaylee's hiding behind, get out of the club. Simple.
That escalated quickly, didn't it?
I I wanted to. I kind of get where Craig's coming from, but I wanted to kind of allude to that because I think
allude.
I genuinely couldn't think of another word, and then I went to say allude. The reason we won't have anything solid yet is because he won't be able to play for us until January anyway. But if he can't agree, he can only agree a contract verbally. There might be something written. If that falls through, that devalues him as a player. So I reckon that's one reason why we haven't heard anything solid yet. Because if it falls through and we hear about all the other clubs here that it's fallen through, all of a sudden other clubs are going, well, we'll give you the same as what Swindon gave you or less now. So I think that's the reason why. Obviously, there'll be other complications with transfer arrangements and stuff like that.
A bit of respect to the Brisbane Roar, because he still had one more game to go until today, didn't he? So
yeah, that's true.
He's got to have a little bit of respect for the club he still plays for, because he had one more game.
Yeah.
So I think it may be now that we might hear a bit more about moving.
Yeah, and I also I'm not worried about clubs that might pay higher. I know money will talk, but Charlie has looked after himself quite well. In terms of I think he's got 2 businesses. I've said before, I think he's got a couple of racehorses. He's and not to mention that he'll retire on a footballer's pension. So it's kind of, I don't think money's going to be a sole driver. I wouldn't be surprised if Bianca and the kids have a massive say in it, because that's part of the reason he wants to come back. I know there's other personal issues with his children as well. I'm not sure all of them went out as well. So it's just kind of, I don't think it'll be as far as Derby, but I do think it'll be someone on the M4 corridor. I think it will be someone that is easily accessible. But it just, kind of my heart rules my head a little bit and just hopes that maybe this could be the time we get we're linked with a really good player. I know it's an old player, but we're linked with a really good player and we finally get that player. I think he'll have to say, as Nick said, we can't hide behind he doesn't fit the model stuff, because any coach should be able to admit that that young players learn off experienced players. We don't have an experienced forward in our squad. So we have experienced players elsewhere in the field. So that's why, for me, he would be absolutely perfect for us. Somebody who's already got the status. And I think that might be the swaying argument that hopefully will get Lindsay probably more than Dee McKaylee, because apparently Dee McKaylee won't sign anybody Lindsay doesn't want to sign.
Okay.
According to the docu-series.
Now, if I've remembered this right, Joe, you're the only one I haven't asked yet.
Fuck it, lads. Charlie's coming home, boys. Nah, seriously. It's a no-brainer, isn't it? It's an absolute no-brainer. On the pitch, off the pitch, commercially, merchandise sales.
Might be a no-brainer for us, mate, but what about for him?
Well, he wants to come home.
Let me pick up on Woody's point there, okay? What if you've got, I'm just thinking about clubs along that route. You've got Swindon, you've got Bristol Rovers. I mean, Nick's right. What if Reading, Bristol City, even a bit further over, Cardiff, maybe Swansea, any of those?
Sorry, Joe, I was interrupting you there. Sorry, I was doing it.
I was just saying. Right, Woody, you go, Woody. Go on,
all I was going to say is I don't think Reading will touch him. I think with them currently paying Andy Carroll's wages, I don't think they'll touch him.
Yeah, it's true.
But personally, I can see where the guys are coming from, and even Derby to a certain extent. I think he wants to play football. I think he wants to go somewhere where he's going to be the number 9. He's going to be the number 9. He's going to be, he's going to be a hero here if he comes back. Whether he's, I'm not going to put a limb out and say he's going to score 15 goals in the rest of the season.
No, that's Ben's job.
But what it'll give the rest of the team belief. It'll give the rest of the team. It'll give us a bit of aggression. He'll be out there doing what we were saying earlier. He'll be out there firing fucks into people. And that's what we need. You imagine Johnny Williams playing balls through for Charlie Austin. Game over, lads. League 2's
Ben Gladwin as well, mate. You played with him at QPR as well.
Exactly, yeah.
So, and I don't know if Charlie likes Ben Gladwin. He really fancies him.
Yeah, I think Woody's right though. It's going to be us or Rovers or someone
No.
within an hour of Swindon. I think.
It'll break my heart to watch him in a
But-
Rovers shirt.
Fuck it,
It'll
he's coming
break my
home.
heart.
Well, it's nice to see the panel are so positive. Next is the feature I've been waiting all week for, really. The one that I'm referring to as the Hannah section. And the reason for that is this all started with this tweet. And for those who can't see it, it's from another Twitter user who we got introduced to via Lower League Look, named Hannah, obviously. And after extensive research, the results prove that the free chocolates shown on the screen are the worst free in Quality Street. Now, the discussion went from there, and I completely disagreed because, let's not forget that Quality Street have Toffee Penny and Toffee Finger in there.
Waste.
Toffee Penny, Toffee Finger. There's that, even that strawberry cream one.
Oh, no, the strawberry one's mint.
No, whoa, get off the panel.
Yeah.
So this is what I was looking for, and we've not even started. So I sent posts out on social media and asked people to submit their Christmas unpopular opinions or Christmas questions, that kind of thing, completely non-football related. I mean, I did ask for any Swindon Town ones, but everyone just wanted to talk about Christmas. And this is what I want to put to you tonight, guys. So let's see what questions we have got. And with that one in mind, I have to start with, what are the worst Christmas chocolates? Because, I mean, Turkish Delight is rank, you're right, but I wouldn't class that as a Christmas chocolate.
I'm just going to say Turkish Delight is shit.
So, Nick, you were very quick there to say no. What is the worst Christmas chocolate?
Anything with orange in.
Oh, no. Nick.
Oh, no. Terry.
Come on, Nick.
Come on, Nick.
Get the fuck out of here.
What? This is turned into carnage on the first one.
The opposite to
Sean.
that is Turkish Delight is the dogs.
Oh, my God.
Do you know where my
Turkish
taste come
Delight.
from?
To be fair, all we
Absolutely
can say there is
Turkish
Nick
Delight.
is an old
In the bin.
bastard. So
Hey, I like Turkish
Nick can
Delight.
run my house at Christmas, and he can eat all the shit chocolate. We'll eat the good
My
ones.
word. Woody, worst Christmas chocolates?
It's that toffee stick thing from
Toffee
Rose's
finger?
store. Yeah, that's it. Fuck me, that is dreadful.
That's good.
And they're just pointless. And it's the only. I'm telling you now, they're less popular than bloody the coconut ones, because at least people just eat the coconut ones. But the toffee ones, you just get there and you go, oh, for fuck's sake, I've just chomped a load of chocolate, and now I've got to bloody chew through this fucking
Work
toffee.
at it.
Yeah.
And I'm throwing it out there. So Celebrations took Bounty out of specific packs. That is for those of us who like Bounty, as a fucking disgrace. And I've purposely not bought Celebrations this year because of their shithouse move.
That's why they're £3.50 now instead of £4.
Ridiculous. Already Nick's comments on chocolate and orange has got people talking. This is only question number one. Joe's got involved as well here. The god-awful gross cream egg mini things.
Oh,
no, Joe! The Twisteds? Cream egg
I'm
Twisteds?
I'm a little bit with that.
No,
I do like
they're-
it. I like
I
a cream
see
egg, but
them.
those mini ones, those mini cream egg twistings, I'm not. I think they're yeah.
the only
I
cream
see.
egg you should have is one you can lick out.
Yeah.
Joe, have I asked you yet for your worst Christmas chocolate?
Well, I'm going to be in your bad books. Bounty, mate. Bounties.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, I'm with you about it. It's awful.
no.
In the bin.
That's so
In the
good.
bin.
I had two today.
I'm now getting abuse from my daughter
Oh.
as well.
I know, I can hear it. She's had two today.
Used to love the
Awful.
triple bounties. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
mate.
Bounty Trio.
Fucking awful.
Oh, the dark chocolate bounty. Oh, that is amazing.
Yes, it is, to be fair. Rob has got involved on Twitter. Turkish Delight is like eating a bar of soap covered in cheap advent calendar chocolate.
No.
Yes.
No,
No.
I agree with Nick. That's not right, Rob. It's like eating perfume. Fuck me. It's rank.
No. You're buying shit Turkish Delight. Love Turkish Delight.
Should we Did I cover everyone with that question? Do we move on to question 2?
Okay, I'd not answered.
Oh, go on, Ben.
Chocolate eclairs.
Oh yeah, I don't like them in a box either.
They're always the last
Yeah.
ones to go. Not a big fan of.
I'm
chocolate
not.
eclairs.
So I
They're
will
just
eat
like,
them when everything else is gone. But they are like I think they're in the Heroes as well, aren't they? They're like the
Yeah,
Heroes
they
version
and
of
the
the toffee
Bounties.
penny.
They and the bounties are the ones that are left.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ben. I'll pop round your house sometime soon because I love a bounty, me.
Clear 'em up.
Well, Jack will fight you for them because Jack likes bounties.
Okay, next, and I have left all of these anonymous, so nobody gets backlash other than that first one that Hannah publicised.
Was it 3 Minute Bob that criticised us for talking about chocolate?
I think so.
Pretty sure that's how.
I know it's being requested 3 Minute Bob, so.
There's no way he's still watching.
I wonder where Free and Bob is, how he's getting on, and what he's doing with his life.
Okay, so next, gentlemen, the next question is. What time is acceptable to have your first drink at Christmas?
Alcoholics.
Let's start this one with Joe.
Well, I normally just carry on from Christmas Eve, to be honest.
Just straight through.
Yeah, just keep going.
Good luck. Nick?
I would say 10 o'clock with a little bit of Bucks Fizz, start the day off, and then go from there.
Classy.
Okay. Ben?
I was going to say Christmas Day it's 8:30 in the morning when you have breakfast. Your Bucks Fizz, because Bucks Fizz, you have to have Bucks Fizz in the morning. You have to have that with a bit of cross on.
I can
That's
confirm that
morning.
I've never in my life had Bucks Fizz.
Oh mate, have it. It's lovely. Bucks Fizz. Is
honestly, you enjoy it, mate. That's not for me.
Oh no, you only have about 3 or 4 glasses, and you find oh, I'm pissed. It's so early.
We've all been out with you, Ben. We know it don't take much.
Woody?
Well, acceptable to me and acceptable to the rest of the family are 2 different things. So when I used to live at home with my dad, it used to be like with breakfast. It could be beer, could be cider, could be wine, could be Bucks Fizz, could be shots, could be whatever. Now,
breakfast shots.
Yeah, now I tend to be
Merry Christmas.
Now I tend to be, not all the time, but the last few Christmases I've been one of the drivers, so it's been a bit kind of crappy. So I probably wouldn't have the first one till lunchtime. But that doesn't mean it's acceptable, because if it was by choice, that side would be open when I'm cooking the bacon sarnies.
Okay, nice. On a similar sort of vein, the next one that came in, we'll go in the opposite order this time. So carrying on, Woody. Champagne for breakfast.
Champagne should never be consumed ever.
Ever, just ever.
Just spray it on people when you win things.
Yeah. I thought that was the reason it existed, to be fair.
Ben?
Well, it isn't. Well, it's not Bucks Fizz. It's champagne. It's not champagne, is it? But yeah, I think morning.
Champagne for Bucks Fizz who are doing particularly well in life.
Yeah, well, no, champagne is like champagne, and orange juice is Bucks Fizz. Well, it's a posh Bucks Fizz anyway. So yeah, 8:30 in the morning, absolutely fine. 8 o'clock in the morning with your brekkie, nothing wrong with it. Crack on.
Nick, champagne for breakfast?
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah, Joe?
Simply.
Nah, if I want bubbles in my mouth, I'd eat a bar of soap or something.
You eat a Turkish delight.
Turkish delight.
Oh yeah,
Well,
champagne with Turkish delight. That would go really well.
I'd rather eat Turkish delight than drink
Champagne with Turkish delight. I could scarcely think of anything I'd least rather have Christmas morning than champagne and Turkish delight.
Yeah,
I tell you what, I'm going to get some champagne and some Turkish delight. So I'm going to photo it and I'm going to post it.
Oh, keep an eye out on Fool's social media over Christmas. Just Nick getting pissed up at breakfast and Woody on the breakfast shots.
Woody on the morning Zambucas.
Sticking with breakfast as a theme, and Joe again. We'll put the order the other way around again. So Joe this time. Is pork pie a strange breakfast item on Christmas?
I think anything goes at Christmas, doesn't it? You've all got your fridge is full of
anything goes.
It does. I mean, your fridge is full of all the stuff you've bought that you don't need.
Yeah,
so you got to eat it. So just you've gone shopping on Christmas Eve, spent 150 quid on
crap.
shit, really.
Yeah.
Full
So you
pork
got to eat
pies.
it. So whatever's getting eaten is whatever's getting eaten.
So I'm gonna throw it out there because I realise I haven't actually really answered any of the questions so far, but it might surprise you for a man of my physical stature. But pork pie is up there with pasties as stuff I just won't eat. Absolutely fucking rank. I know it's hard to maintain this sort of figure without eating pork pies and pasties, but I just don't like them. Particularly the ones with that horrible dog food jelly in it.
Oh, that's lovely.
Nick, pork pie for Christmas breakfast.
Well, we don't usually have a Christmas breakfast, to be fair, but I'm with Joe really.
Because you're too busy getting pissed up from 8:30 in the
Well,
morning.
probably. Except I'm having to drive this one. Yeah, if it was there, I'd eat that. I'd pretty much eat any type of meat. And funny enough, you saying pasties, I bought a couple of pasties today, and I also had for lunch a black pudding Scotch egg.
Oh.
That's
I
nice.
knew you'd pull that
that's
face,
black.
Fifey.
They're nice.
No.
Oh, I love a black pudding.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's quite nice.
Scotch egg, lovely. Black pudding, no.
Yeah,
Black
oh,
puddings
they
are
do.
quite
They do.
nice.
They do black pudding Scotch eggs in the Hall and Woodhouse by me. Oh, that's so good.
yeah,
So
so good.
So, I mean, I don't eat black pudding. Have any of you ever tried white pudding? And that strikes me as even worse, surely.
No, it's good.
What's white pudding?
It's...
No idea.
But
Nobody knows.
It's probably best that you don't know.
What's
Ben-
in white pudding?
I'm sure there's a racist joke in there somewhere as well. Black pudding.
Yeah, let's not go there.
Get over that one.
Get cancelled.
Ben, pork pie for Christmas breakfast?
Absolutely not. I've never had pork pie for breakfast. I've never heard it before. Croissants.
Is that croissants to the rest of us?
Croissants.
Croissants?
Croissant, if you're French. Croissants with yam and butter and.
Oh, are you not a ham and cheese croissant kind of guy then?
Can bake a ham and cheese croissant. That's right. Pan au chocolat as well. That's quite nice. With orange juice and Bucks Fizz.
Okay. And finally, Woody, are you in pork pie for breakfast? Cam?
I'll eat anything for breakfast on Christmas Day. I'll eat anything.
He's
Don't really.
ready right before.
That's my one day where I don't really care what I eat. I don't. To be fair, I'm not a big Christmas dinner fan either, so I literally just stock up all the way through,
Okay.
and just eat random shit throughout the day.
Well, let's turn attention away briefly from what we're eating and more to when, as the next question is, what time should you eat Christmas dinner? Lunchtime or later? And I believe this time we're going Woody to go first.
It seems to be like every time I've had it, it's always been like 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't really like that. So if I had a choice where I was cooking it,
I don't like it.
I don't. If I had a choice where I cook it, I'd still line it up with my normal dinner times, kind of 5 o'clock. But 5 o'clock, no later, because you want time for cheese crackers, Baileys, whiskey, and all that kind of stuff. You want to make sure you've cleared all the room and more pork pies.
Yeah.
Ben, what time, if you could choose, what time is Christmas dinner being ready for?
About 2 o'clock, because it's your one main meal of the whole day. And then by the time 7 or 8 o'clock rolls in, you're getting a bit hungry, and that's where you make the turkey sandwiches, and that's when you eat like some of the nibbles, and you cook off like all your little hors d'oeuvre like sides that you quite like your Christmas
Hors
trees.
d'oeuvres?
Well, like your bits and pieces, like your Christmas tree nuggets. And
Someone's doing all right for himself, Mr. Stratford upon Avon.
I go on Asda Christmas tree nuggets. Asda shaped Christmas tree nuggets.
We are still an independent podcast, so if Asda were happen to be watching this, that's no offense to Asda. If you do want to sponsor us, then do get in touch.
Oh no, I
supermarkets
eat lots of Asda. I think I should be sponsored by Asda. We had an Asda delivery today. The delivery driver was really nice and friendly and chatty and helpful. Nice.
Excellent. Nick, what time are you having Christmas dinner prepared for?
I'm not 100% sure because my daughter's doing it for the first time and we're going over there. But normally what we always used to do is about midday, we would have prawns or crab meat wrapped in smoked salmon.
Oh my God, Nick.
And then
So
so you could step out on that, and then we would have the actual main meal probably about 4 o'clock.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure for a more defined palate like yourself, but no, I'm not in. A lot of what you're saying, Nick, I'm not having on my anywhere near my Christmas dinner.
We're on a different road.
Pfeiffer, you don't belong up north, mate. Come back down.
Yeah.
Joe, what time are you having Christmas dinner ready for?
Yeah, we're normally we tend to spread a bit like Nick, sort of spread it out a bit. We always have sort of starter, main, and dessert, but not necessarily
and second dessert.
Bang. Yeah, so sort of maybe 1 o'clock have a starter, and then your main's ready by 2, sort of thing.
Yeah. That's exactly the same.
You just have your dessert when you're hungry.
Yeah.
So last Christmas, it was just me and Aidan here for Christmas dinner, and it got to the point where I'll be honest, I tend to make food to excess. It might surprise people that I excess on food, but it got to the point where I had to actually have a nap after my Christmas dinner because I physically couldn't eat the pudding.
Good effort.
Nap.
I needed a good half an hour before I could tuck into the pudding. We're going back onto the what and not when, and this one actually caused controversy at work, and I know another podcast also tweeted about it. I think it was a Northampton podcast recently. Joe, Yorkshire puddings on Christmas dinners.
Always.
Yes, good lad.
You can put all your little veggies and that in there, fill it up, bang. Always Yorkshire.
Nick?
Never have.
Oof, Nick.
Never have.
Oh,
he's still full from his salmon, isn't he?
He's still full from his salmon, yeah.
I want to have that extra leaf, thank you.
Ben?
Yeah, absolutely. I've had this argument many times with people because there's heathens out there that go, no, of course you do.
Heathens.
Woody? Go on, now say no and say you're a heathen.
I would just have the Yorkshire pudding for Christmas dinner, to be fair. Just one giant Yorkshire pudding.
Oh,
yeah, but what would you have? Craig.
Yorkshire pudding is overrated.
Not having that.
With the exception of pigs in blankets and parsnips, Yorkshire pudding is probably the best bit of a Christmas dinner. Ridiculous statement, Craig. This is why you're not allowed on tonight.
And pork and
and pork.
Pork, yeah, pork. A bit pork sometimes.
What were your Christmas dinner?
Yeah, I've had Christmas lasagna before.
Oh, I could do that. See, I'd love a Christmas curry. Yeah. That's the only time I ever would voluntarily eat turkey, as if it's in a curry.
Oh, turkey curry.
Christmas turkey curry. What were you going to say about Yorkshire puddings, Woody?
I don't know.
Okay. Shall we move on and ask you the next question then? The next one's very specific, and if you haven't done it, you won't be able to answer. But I'm confident at least half the panel will be able to have an opinion on this one. This might not, to begin with, seem Christmassy, but I'll explain. KFC gravy is overrated and does not deserve to have the word gravy in it. It's grim. And when I questioned what that's got to do with Christmas, it's because gravy is a big part of their festive feast box, I'm led to believe. Now, I've never had the KFC gravy, so I can't comment. Has anyone had it, and does anyone agree? And Woody, you were technically first, so we'll go to you.
Oh, shut up.
I do believe it's overrated. And especially recently, I believe they changed their recipe because they got a lot of criticism because of the amount of fats that were going into it originally. So the original KFC gravy from about 5 years ago, not 5 years old, 5 years ago. The
5-year-old KFC gravy.
That was nice, but only ever with a KFC, obviously. But the one now, I think Little and had KFC and he had gravy the other day, and I dipped a chip in it and I just went, oh god, that's disgusting. It's a bit like, and I agree with that. What Craig's just put up, the TFC one's a lot better.
Okay,
and that's probably because they haven't had the media knocking on their door about how their KFC, how their gravy is made yet. That's probably why.
Ben, you had a point about the gravy?
I do have very much of a point about it. point about KFC. Now, this is a little known fact that it's a Christmas tradition in Japan to have a
Yes,
KFC
I knew
for
that.
Christmas dinner. It's that's what they do. You know, we have
They do,
turkey,
yeah.
they all go off and have a KFC, and that's a traditional Christmas dinner in Japan. And for the gravy wise, yes, the gravy is absolutely orgasmic. I do not wish to know what kind of shit is in it. It is probably
There's
very,
nothing in it
very,
anymore.
very, very bad for you, and there's probably like bits of organs and a bit of genitals in there and stuff like that. I don't know, but frankly, I don't give a shit because it tastes lovely. So yeah, I do love a bit of KFC gravy. Yummy.
Nick, have you ever partaken in some KFC gravy? Have you ever
Nope,
partaken in
never
a
had it.
KFC?
Never had it.
Okay, Joe.
Yeah, not overly fussed on it. Tried it obviously, but it's just gravy in it. It's just
During your experimental years, was it? You just tried a bit of gravy, didn't like?
yeah, you know, a bit like you, Fife. You know, I try most things, and
Indeed.
Try for once, eh?
For anyone who missed that, I'll just flash Mark there.
Mark.
Very vocal. KFC gravy is shit. Fact.
Mark.
Where are we going next? Let's move away from KFC gravy. Right. Now, here's a sort of football-based one that we got sent earlier today, and I've altered it slightly from what the initial question was. But, Joe, starting with you, would you eat 50 sprouts to guarantee Town 3 points on Boxing Day?
yeah, easy.
Woody looks like he's going to be sick. Woody genuinely look like he was going to be sick.
I
Do you know what?
I wouldn't eat 50 sprouts if it guaranteed us the fucking league. Sorry, lads.
Fuck the 3 points. I'll just eat the 50 sprouts.
Well, see, interestingly, I went the other way. I said I'd happily concede the points and just throw the fucking sprouts away. Nick, 50 sprouts for 3 points?
No, not a chance.
No.
No, definitely not. I'd eat a couple of sprouts, but that's about it.
Ben, you in on 50
I
sprouts
would
for 3
probably
points?
say sprouts is up there as one of my favourite vegetables. I
Oh,
love it.
no, Ben.
Love it. At Christmas, you've got the sprouts, a bit of bacon on as well. Oh, they're lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I knew this.
I'd also add I'd eat the 50 sprouts because my wife would be so happy with that.
Especially at
My
bedtime.
missus will not be happy about 50 sprouts because I'll go to bed and I will be farting like a drone.
It'd be very windy in the Seymour household.
Yeah.
Claire very much in team no
Sprouts
to
is-
sprouts under any circumstances.
Sprouts is up there with sweet corn as possibly the worst vegetable ever.
Yes, Woody.
course.
Absolutely
Sweet corn.
right.
Oh, KFC sweet corn with gravy.
No, go away, Craig. Go away, Craig.
I would cook them in bacon and add some
Craig-
sage. Delicious.
Greg's
Yes,
making a
Craig.
comeback. He's making a comeback.
Baby
Yes.
cabbages, fucking evil little
No.
bastards, says Mark.
Harsh as cabbage.
Oh, I would eat a whole cabbage over 50 sprouts. Absolutely.
The little cabbages are quite nice as well. I'll eat them too.
Oh dear me! I knew the sprouts would get people talking.
Evil little bastard.
So we've done a lot of talk about the mains, Woody. Should we move on to pudding with this question? Is Yule log a childish dessert?
No. Not one
Starting
of
with Woody.
It's not a childish dessert. That's the most bizarre question I've ever think I've Is your log a childish dessert? No, I don't think any dessert's a childish dessert. Give me jelly and ice cream. Give me a Peppa Pig lice on it. I don't.
Good lad. Go on, Woody.
If it's got sugar in it, it's good for me.
Ben, Yule log.
No, we've got Yule log in the kitchen right now as we speak.
Good
yeah,
lad.
Yeah, with maybe a bit of cream or some ice cream with it as well.
Custard.
You know, whole log, cut it in 4. There you go. Little one for the kids.
4.
Yeah. Well, you got
Oh man! Next, you'll be telling me you're the sort of guy that slices a Viennetta. That's just it comes with its own bowl, so you don't even have to wash up. Just get it in there.
If it's in one piece, it's one serving.
This is exactly, yeah. Nick, Yule log, is that a childish dessert?
Well, I've got a child 34 years of age who would devour a whole one without even thinking about it, and woe betide anybody else that tries to get any of it. But for me, I wouldn't eat it myself. Don't like it.
Right. So just to clarify for those listening, the man that eats salmon wrapped prawns won't eat a Yule log. So yes, what we're saying is it probably is childish.
Asda made a good point that Yule log is very important because they have Yule log in their Just Essentials range.
They do.
And we all know that if it's in their Just Essentials range, it's
You must eat
essential.
it. Yeah, essential. You have to eat it.
Joe, just to flash that comment back up from Mark.
Ain't no
Anything
fucking
with
sprouts in
logging,
there.
anything with logging it is funny, but that's because he's childish.
Yeah.
Are you saying Yule log childish dessert or not?
Yule log, schmool log. If it's childish, I'm childish. Get some cream
Yeah.
on it. Get it in my belly.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. And again, I point out. So I am a fan. Again, what might not surprise, but I am a fan of a traditional Christmas pudding. But Aidan isn't. So we generally have Yule log as our Christmas dessert, and I'm all over it.
So you're going to say you generally have Christmas pudding?
I love a Christmas pudding, me. Absolutely
Yeah,
love a Christmas pudding.
Fuck Aidan.
Fuck Aidan.
Bit of a
It's
Christmas
my
pudding.
Christmas too.
Oh, mate, honestly, love Christmas pudding, but very few people that I would
Love
have
it.
Christmas with like it, so
Yeah,
it
I
doesn't
don't like
often get come out. But
Sarah
yeah,
likes
I
Christmas
love
pudding.
Christmas
I don't
pudding.
like Christmas pudding.
Absolutely love the stuff. And
Yeah,
Christmas
Christmas
cake.
pud. Go for that.
Brandy
so
sauce.
next one, and we have two very similar questions, but Joe, the first one, is Christmas Day for pajamas or getting dressed up nice?
Wow, we're very lazy in our family, so pajamas all day for us.
Nice. Nick, a three-piece suit for dinner, I imagine?
Well,
Top hat and tails?
when I'm eating my crab and smoked salmon, you've got to be dressed up, haven't you? Simple.
To what level do you get dressed up for Christmas Day, Nick?
No, just a decent pair of trousers, smart shirt.
That's
Actually, I've bought for
Cufflinks.
this Christmas a nice Christmas waistcoat, so I should be wearing that.
Ooh, very
I want a
nice.
photo, Nick. I want to see Nick.
Yeah, you'll get
Right, so
with,
Nick, we
with my
want a photo-
champagne and Turkish
Yeah,
delight.
champagne,
And
Turkish
my-
delight,
and my
and a waistcoat.
It'll be there.
Lovely. I look forward to that.
Oh. Ben, pajamas or dressing up for Christmas?
Yeah, well, Sarah likes everyone to have matching pajamas until the oldest is now going, I don't wear them. But, I quite like the old thought of matching Christmas pajamas, but then we do get changed because, like, we have to visit members of the family, or they come to us, so we have to do family things. So we can't be walking about in our pajamas.
You throw your hands up as if you don't want to do family. Just before we hand that one over to Woody, just to clarify there, Nick. Mark's asking, smoking jacket at the ready.
Oh yes.
I'll see what I can do.
Woody, pajamas or dressing up at Christmas?
I think we do try to keep pajamas on as long as possible. We normally have matching pajamas of some sort. But I do, if we do travel out, I just got to smack my Christmas jumper on. I just don't care what else I got on. As long as I got my Christmas jumper on, I'm happy. And it's not Christmas if you ain't got a Christmas jumper on at 7 o'clock with the meat sweats. You're sweating away, trying to play the fucking board game that you've been playing for 5 hours because nobody understood the rules.
That's the only time you play that board game ever. You don't wear it. You'll never play it again.
Well, I can kind of see the reaction that the next one might get, given some of the answers here. But the next one was matching Christmas pajamas are pretentious.
No.
Woody,
Just searching up what pretentious means.
are you a fan of matching? Are you a fan of
I
family
know,
matching?
I'm joking. I wasn't until I had little ones, and it actually does look quite cute when they're all dressed up in the matching pajamas. So where possible, I do like it. I do think it's quite nice.
Okay, Ben, family
Yeah, no.
matching pajamas.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of family matching pajamas. It's not essential, but I quite like it. But as I say, Jack's sort of breaking out of that now, going, oh, so yeah, I don't think we could be all doing it the same anymore. But I was a fan.
Nick,
Never ever done it. No,
it doesn't
Too
surprise
too
me.
American for Nick.
Hey?
It's too American for Nick.
Oh yeah, keep anything American away from
Oh,
everything.
we'll have like Daddy Bear. We're wearing the Daddy Bear and the Mummy Bear, and Sarah will be the Mummy Bear, and then
Oh, will she? Oh, that's good to know. Thanks
Yeah.
for clarifying that, Ben.
Yeah,
No wonder Jack doesn't want to get dressed up in matching pajamas if you keep giving him mummy bear.
You know what I mean, though. Like, you should have mummy bear in pajamas.
Jack has to keep going around dressed up as Goldilocks. Joe, in the Seymour household, are we having matching pajamas?
Well, you'll probably find Mrs. Joe and the two mini Joes in matching pajamas, but not me.
No. Oh.
Oh,
They're not having it this year, mate.
guess what you've got for Christmas Day, Joe?
Yeah. No, even if they bought them for me, I wouldn't wear them.
I get the feeling that that the other Joe may be speaking from experience here, where she says nobody wants to see a grown man in glittery PJs. Fact.
To be glaring. Next pod, I'm rocking my Christmas pajamas.
Yeah, just coming on Christmas pajamas next week, are you?
I'm wearing
Don't
my
even
daddy
know.
best.
Where are we going next? Away from pajamas. Okay, so here's what I'm going to jump straight in on this one because this is one I feel very passionately about, and that is that the film The Holiday is overrated. It is just a shit Love Actually, and that's all it is. The Holiday would literally not make my top 15, if not 20 Christmas films. And in fact, I watched one the other day on Amazon, Your Christmas or Mine, which is 100 times better than The Holiday. But it made I appreciate that I'm in a group of really laddie lads here, so you may all tell me you've never seen The Holiday or Love Actually. But Joe, is The Holiday overrated?
Never seen it.
I've never seen Holiday.
This could be the quickest question of the night. Nick?
Never seen it.
Ben, you've already said you've only seen Love Actually of the two.
Woody's all over it, I reckon.
Go on, Woody. You've seen The Holiday.
I was watching Fifey doing the darts. Sorry, on Sky Sports.
What?
You're on the darts, mate.
Oh, it's Smith.
Oh, okay.
Michael Smith.
I have seen The Holiday. I wouldn't say I dislike it, but it wouldn't be in my top. Probably not my top 15. No.
Okay, brilliant. Joe again getting involved there. Yes, Fifey, Your Place or Mine? Great film.
Ooh.
Good job she put great film on the end.
Now, again, so Claire's jumped in early for one that's coming up, but yes, Muppets Christmas Carol is elite level Christmas film.
That is a very good, yeah.
But you've never seen Muppets Christmas Carol? Oh, mate, you have to. Honestly, superb.
Michael Caine.
Thanks, mate.
Next one. Elf on the Shelf should be criminalised. Woody?
Yes, get that fucker out of it. Fucking hate those twats. Absolutely. Oh my days. Every time. And the worst thing is I never wanted to do the fucking thing in the first place. But guess who ends up doing it half of December? Me, because everybody fucks off the bed and then they go, oh, the elf hasn't been done. Oh, great. Right. What am I going to fucking do with it now? Oh, I suppose I better eat these chocolates because they make me laugh when I eat them. Oh, look, there's another pork pie gone out the fridge.
Why are you moaning then, Woody, if you get all that extra grub?
Because I can only do that twice, Nick. I can't do it any other day of the month. It's emotional. Causes more stress than fucking work, those bloody elves.
Ben?
I understand Woody's elf and chef because obviously Sarah's in bed. I'm the last one up right now, and no one's fucking touched the elf, so I've got to do him, and I've got to think of something to hang him off or something to do that's a bit funny and a bit wacky, and so I get that, but I also quite like Freddie getting really excited about where Elvis is, so that's also quite cool because he's like obviously at the age where he believes properly with a passion.
Nice.
So. Yeah, I quite like Elf, but he's a ball ache.
Nick, did they have Elf on the Shelf? Have you ever seen Elf on the Shelf?
I've seen it, but we've never done it, so it never entered our household. He was obviously barred at the front door, never got in.
Joe, is there an elf rocking round the residence?
Now, I'll tell you one thing. There's one thing I hate more than Elf on the Shelf. Only one thing I hate more than Elf on the Shelf, and that's the fucking idiots that post it on Facebook every day. Fuck off. Put your elf up
Yeah, we
your
don't
ass.
post them,
Fuck
we
off.
don't post them.
So no, we don't do it in our household.
Sorry, there's a private chat just for us, and Woody's just really made me laugh there. It's really unprofessional. I do apologise.
For the record, I didn't realise my son was still up.
Oh no!
Woody's just got a really angry text come through. You do realise?
But luckily, he didn't hear me in my passionate outburst.
We gave our elf on the shelf to the dog. She chewed his head off. Dead elf. TTFN, says Joe. Even Liam, Jack Payne says, Fools Rush In chant still gives him goosebumps. Lovely to know.
By the way, yeah, that reminds me. I was talking to Liam today, and I said I'd plug the video that he's done. Fools Rush In, not Fools Rush In.
Lower League Look.
Lower League Look did an exclusive interview with Jack Payne, and they talked about Jack Payne's career. And there's lots of juicy tidbits with Harry McCurdy, the summer just gone, and everything that's just gone during the summer with him. Exclusive interviews, stuff that we didn't quite know what was going on. And it's a good watch for any fan, including Swindon fans. So Lower League Look, Jack Payne. Liam and Grant have been on the show, friends of the show.
Been on the shore? Ben, you need to get your teeth in, mate.
Hey, man, he's been on the shore.
But yeah, Lower League Look, Jack Payne interview, cracking. I can't wait to watch it myself. You do too. Let's get on it. Bosh.
John has got involved on Twitter saying, Woody's on fire, fucking elves. So the next one to come up is favourite Christmas song. Who did we start? Oh, Woody started with his passionate outburst, didn't he? So Joe, favourite Christmas song?
The Pogues, because it's anti-Christmas.
Pogues is quality. All-time classic. Nick?
Yeah, I'd go along with Joe on that. I'm not a great one for songs or tunes of any type, but I'll go along with Joe.
Okay. Ben, any particular Christmas song your favourite?
There's two that are neck and neck at the moment.
Okay.
There's Slade, It's Christmas, or This Is Christmas. That's a good one. And I do quite like Band-Aid. It gets me in a Christmassy mood. Band-Aid, I think it's quite cool.
Claire's going in with the Pogues. Craig saying Driving Home for Christmas. Woody?
Sorry, there was definitely a joke in there with Driving Home for Christmas. I do like the Pogue song, but I'm gonna throw one out there, which is The Darkness is Don't Let
interesting.
And the reason being is, for me, like when I was growing up, it was all kind of like Slade, the real rocky kind of Christmas anthems. And then I think The Darkness was the first one really that kind of had that rocky Christmas feel to it. And I don't think we've really had another one like that since. So that's probably, because I was alive when that came out, that will probably be my favourite one.
Were you on about a joke similar to that, Woody?
No.
Now, I'm going to potentially do something that YouTube won't like, but I don't like it. I've actually prepared a small sample of one of my favourite Christmas songs. The Pogues would definitely be well up there, in probably top for me. I also like Feliz Navidad. I really do like that. It just makes me happy. But there's one song that really makes me and Aidan happy. Every Christmas we play this when we're putting the tree up. So I'm just going to play a small sample of it for you here.
It's Dominic the donkey, Christmas donkey.
Me and Aidan love Dominic the Donkey. Absolutely superb. And if you've never had the pleasure of actually listening to Dominic the Donkey, well, first of all, you didn't listen to Chris Moores in his Radio 1 days.
Exactly.
And
correct.
And secondly, please go and listen to Dominic the Donkey and tell me it isn't the most infectious fucking song. It's up there with like the Birdie song and one of those. But I mean, Ben's already singing it. I only played literally 4 seconds. So yes, Dominic the Donkey for me is a must listen at Christmas. Next question we received, lads, starting with Woody. This year has been bad for Christmas adverts, but what have been some of your favourites?
I'm not a big fan of a Christmas advert. To be honest, I generally can't think of a favourite. To be honest, unfortunately, a bit Scroogey like that.
No, that's fine. We ask you for an answer. Joe, on the previous question, anything by Bublé is shit. Kieran saying Rage Against the Machine. Ben, have you got any favourite Christmas adverts?
Adverts. Sarah's got loads. She loves Chris because she loves John Lewis adverts and that sort of thing. There was a couple of the Sainsbury's ones a couple of years ago. The kids doing nativity was quite cool. But
okay.
That's about it.
Nick?
Not really. The only one that comes to mind is the guy trying to learn to skateboarding.
That, you know what? That's quite a nice one this year, yeah. Because he's taking in the foster
young
child.
girl. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Joe, any for you?
It's got to be the Coca-Cola, Laurie.
Yes, that's what I was waiting for.
Holidays are coming.
Yes. Holidays are coming.
I mean, I'm not big into Christmas, but when that's on the telly, you know it's getting close, don't you?
Yeah,
Toys R Us. When Toys R Us was on as well. Yeah, when they used to.
There's
millions of Jeffreys all under one roof.
Yeah, that would be my favourite. When the Toys R Us advert used to come on, I used to love that.
As a kid, it was great, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So for me on this one, the Coke advert is the ultimate one, but notable ones. This one's going to be quite controversial, I think, but the Sainsbury's one that James Corden did, where he was animated and the guy just wanted to spend time with his family. That's always a favourite. Really good song in that one as well. And also I think it was Sainsbury's maybe the year before, the year after, they did the one from the war where they played football. That was a really, really good advert. Really good advert.
And football related.
Indeed. And Joe, controversially, Kevin the Carrot can jog on with Elf on the Shelf. We seem to have stirred people up with the Christmas chat. This is what I was looking for. Where are we going after adverts? We have got... now this is, again, one that I'm sure will be very passionate for the really laddie lads on the panel tonight. It's a 2-part question. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? And what are your other favourites? Joe, do we start with you this time?
Well, I've never seen a Die Hard, so...
How?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
To be honest, I'm not really into movies that much. I don't watch many films.
Okay.
If I was to go out and pluck a Christmas film, Home Alone 2 probably.
Shout! What a film!
Well, if very loosely linked to Christmas because it's snowy. The best film of all time is Cool Runnings.
Yeah. Cool Runnings is a great film.
It's not really. It's
not Christmassy, but it's a great film.
The Home Alone Lost in New York one, I quite like that one.
Nick?
Die Hard's played at Christmas, but it's not a Christmas film to me. What I'll probably think of, and I don't know if I've got the title exactly right, it's the one with Dickie Attenborough. Is it Miracle on 32nd Street?
34th Street.
34th Street.
You were close.
So, yeah, that's...
Around the corner.
That's the one that I would go for.
We're getting the shouts coming in already. Craig saying Die Hard is a Christmas movie, no question. Mark saying Arthur Christmas fact. Ben, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? And what are some of your other favourite Christmas movies?
Yes, it is. The obvious as well. Elf is also one that I quite like.
I've never watched it the whole way through. Ones,
you know what's wrong? It's really good.
I've tried it twice. I fell asleep twice.
And also, I like. Now, this is a cartoon, but it reminds me of my childhood.
The Snowman.
And it's the Snowman and the Father Christmas one, the grumpy Father Christmas, when he goes on holiday.
Yeah.
And, that very blooming Christmas, that one. When he's done with what's his name? He's dead now. The comedian.
The dead comedian.
Yeah, what was his name? There's two of them, and they used to play Helen Pace. Was it Helen Pace? Anyway, yeah, him, and I quite like that, and I'll quite happily watch that again. And
I mean, there's no denying Wizard of Oz is a classic, but is that a Christmas movie?
I think it's Christmas.
Woody, Die Hard.
Die Hard is 100% a Christmas movie.
It's set at a Christmas party.
Yeah, I'm telling you now, if Die Hard's not a Christmas movie, neither is Home Alone, because Christmas plays an essential part to the plot of Die Hard and Home Alone. So I actually argued this with somebody the other day who kept sending me. Apparently, Bruce Willis came out and said something and all that shit. But it's integral to the plot. If it wasn't Christmas, John McClane would never have gone to Nakatomi Plaza.
Correct.
Unlike where Lethal Weapon which is set at Christmas, but that is incidental to the plot line. So it is 100%. It is just as much of the Christmas movie as Home Alone is, and for that reason, it is the best Christmas movie of all time.
So I've already said Muppets Christmas Carol for me is elite. Die Hard absolutely 100% is a Christmas movie for exactly the reasons Woody said. There are plenty of other notable. Polar Express is good.
Yeah.
One if you've got younger kids that is underrated is Santa Paws. We're big fans of that while Aidan was growing up. But I have to say, on the assumption that no one else has watched it, so for those who like Die Hard and for those who like Home Alone, the new film that's come out this year, Violent Night, superb in the sense of it is a shit film, but it's so shit it's funny. And the tagline it was sold to me on is, it is Die Hard meets Home Alone. It is hilarious watching Santa kill all these house robbers. Funny as fuck. And without giving any spoilers away, it starts with Santa in a pub in Bristol being sick on the bartender when he flies off in the sand. So it's got elements of Bad Santa for those who have watched that as well. It is hilarious.
And Violent Night. I quite like
very much recommend. Go and look at the trailer and then go and watch the film. Superb, and it will definitely be added to my annual Christmas viewing because it had me in stitches at the cinema the other night watching that. But yeah, Muppets Christmas Carol for me is the Christmas movie, and Die Hard absolutely is a Christmas film. We have one last question on Christmas before we can move on to the final topic, and that is, Christmas songs should be banned until the 18th of December. Woody?
As somebody who used to be very adamant that the Christmas tree couldn't go up until after my birthday, I would not be against. I think 18th is a little bit late. I'm quite happy 11th of December onwards. I find it acceptable. Or if a Christmas do happens beforehand, that's when I accept Christmas. When my first Christmas do happens, after that I accept anything Christmas.
Okay, Ben.
I think it should be. Yeah, I think it is when it gets to like 3rd or 4th of December when Christmas starts really rolling. I know Heart Christmas starts on like November the 1st, straight after Halloween, and it's just like, yeah, no, that is a bit shit. Yeah, I go, Christmas songs, listen to one of them and go, no, it doesn't feel right, turn it off. But yeah, the start of December, 2nd or 3rd, crack it on. Yeah, it's fine.
Nick?
Yeah, start of December. Once December's here, you can say that's leading into Christmas. Yeah. And nothing before that, though. There's too much stuff way before that, way too early.
Okay. Joe?
Yeah, totally agree. There's nothing more annoying than walking around shops in October and November and hearing Christmas music.
Trying home for Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah, I think December. Anyway, December. I mean, I'm all for like play a few songs on Christmas Eve and then knock it all on the head on Boxing Day. But I guess sort of December's acceptable.
So I'm going to say, in places such as retail and hospitality, 1st of December onwards should be fine. Outside of retail and hospitality, you do you. If you love Christmas, you play them from October for all I care.
Yeah, but you put your Christmas tree up in November.
Yeah.
I did put my Christmas tree up in November. You're right. And there it will remain until just before New Year's Eve when it comes down.
Can I just add one more question?
12 days.
In?
Go on.
What would be your favourite crisp-like snack? Because I have one that is every year at Christmas.
Yours is going to be something that I've probably never heard of and way out of my price range.
It's not. No, it's not that highbrow.
So my favourite crisp-based snack. Do you know what? I'm a bear of fairly simple tastes. And you give me a tube of sour cream Pringles, I'm more than happy.
Yeah.
Go on then, Nick. What's the highbrow version of that?
Mine is tubs, and I'd say in the plural of cheeselets. I could eat. I could sit down.
Joe's so happy.
Once I've opened the tube of that or the tub of that, I could just sit and eat the whole lot straight off. No danger. They are the bizzo.
The only thing better for me on a crisp-based snack than eating a tube of sour cream Pringles is to follow that up with some Texas barbecue Pringles.
Try Pringles, I think.
I am a fan. Well, only really those two flavors. The salt vinegar ones are rank.
Would you mix them? Would you have
all the
sour
time.
cream and a barbecue?
All the time, yeah.
It's like a salad.
Yeah.
Like a salad.
Pringle salad.
Pringle salad.
Well, on that note, then, is there any other sort of snacks that you only have at Christmas? Any of you, for example, like Toblerone's available all year round. I only eat them during Christmas. And those, is it Benedict's, the little mint biscuit things?
Yeah, I know.
Only have them at Christmas as well.
Sort of honey roasted, they're sort of honey roasted, honey glazed nuts, cashew nuts.
There's Mr. Stratford upon Avon coming out again.
Yeah,
I'm just lightly salted peanuts when it comes to nuts, right?
Yeah, but you like posh ones though at Christmas because it's Christmas.
Claire saying cheese. Oh, I love cheese and pineapple, or cheese and onion crisps with a pickled egg in. Oh,
yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, appreciate that.
I probably.
Since when did Falls Rush In become the cooking channel?
We're diversifying.
Diversifying, yeah. We're host MasterChef next week.
Mince pies with double cream, says
That
Craig.
people only
warm
eat
mince
Christmas.
pie.
No one's eating the mince pie in June, are they?
If someone offered me a mince pie in June, I'd certainly eat it.
Yeah,
We always have the mince pies with the icing on the top.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Quite nice.
I actually probably only have.
Go on,
As I say, I probably only have crackers at Christmas. Generally, I don't think I have crackers any other time of the year. They only come out at Christmas, which is strange because crackers is quite a popular snack.
Yeah.
Roasted chestnuts buying in a market.
Yes.
Bag of those.
Yeah.
They're
Bag of
the
chestnuts.
bizzo. Hot.
Hot barrel.
Yeah.
Oh, here's one for you, Nick. Surely, Stilton with a litre of port.
I'll take the port.
You know me, Joe. Yep, on there.
I'll take the port.
After the pigs in blankets, a bit of Stilton.
Lots of cheese. Yeah,
Lovely
lots of cheese. Lots of cheese board with.
See,
As is Joe, I think I'd rather have Dairy Dunkers and port rather than Stilton.
I'll be honest. So this might
Stilton
be
with crackers.
This might be controversial. I'm not a big fan of cheese generally.
Yeah, I love cheese.
Love cheese.
Like
love cheese.
I'm again fairly simple taste. If I'm having cheese, I'll stick with cheddar.
Cheddar's good. The decent cheddar's good.
But then I'm quite happy to have like the Laughing Cow cheese spread, or what I refer to as the plastic cheese you have at barbecues.
Oh no, plastic cheese only belongs on burgers.
Yeah,
that doesn't belong anywhere else.
No,
plastic cheese only goes on burgers.
Any other Christmas snacks before we move on, guys?
I always like to do my own pickled eggs. I haven't done it this year actually, but I always like to do my own pickled eggs.
I'm fully in agreement with Nick. Cheeselets. They are.
Yeah.
Woody, the dunkers are on Joe.
So, what type of dunkers do you prefer? The breadstick ones, or do you prefer
the tubes all day.
ones? Yeah,
Oh,
tubely ones, or the little ones with bits of cracker in that you can dip. You know, you've got little cracker Pringle ones you can dip in. They're quite nice.
Fools Rush In, sponsored by Dairy.
We've got Asda and Dairy Lee coming up.
You've got dairy that you can spread on your bread, or you can just open the packet, the triangle up, and just pop it in your mouth. Either way, nice.
Do you like a Dairy Lee Lunchable as well, Ben?
I've got to say, the disrespect for the laughing cow
No,
now. Is
the Lunchables, you've got to make it as tall as you want and just try that.
Cathedral spreadable.
For those who missed it, I flashed up there. Mark said he can't eat Stilton without port, and Joe has come back with Jumbo Chews. Shall we move away from Christmas now, guys, and finish off with something a little bit more on brand for Fools Rush In? Finally, World Cup final preview. France or Argentina? Which way are we thinking, Joe?
Don't care.
Simple as that.
I think I'd rather Messi won it.
Okay.
Before he retires. But yeah, I'm not really fussed, to be honest.
Nick?
I'm like Joe. I couldn't care less. I probably won't even watch it. Didn't watch any of the semis. Once England were out, that's my interest gone. So it seems they want Messi to win it. So I hope the French do.
Woody?
I'd like to say that we got knocked out to the world champions. So I think I'd rather have France. Plus, I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. I'd rather Messi didn't win it. So then all of these Messi and Ronaldo bum boys can stop that argument because neither of them would have won a World Cup. So it's I'd quite. But I think, yeah, most of all, I think I'd just like to lose to the world champions.
Okay, Ben.
I think much echo is that once England got knocked out, I completely lost all interest, which is fair. I think I want France to win, but my reasons are, because Argentina acted like cunts when they've won each game to the opposition. They've been absolute pricks. And France, when they beat us, actually were a bit dignity, and they
the way that Kylian Mbappe was laughing at Harry Kane.
Well, yeah, they weren't.
Yeah,
they weren't. Yeah, no, but he wasn't actually. Mbappe wasn't laughing. They told him he was just celebrating that he actually missed, but they weren't actually cunts at the full time. They weren't like taking the piss out of us because all doing
bombs in 2
pride. They actually there was respect there between.
We apologise to anyone that's offended by the overly foul and abusive language that Ben's been using.
Mainly,
Yes, but Argentina were acting like cunts when.
Joe, I hope you tell Ben off. I got told off last week, and I hope you noticed I don't think I've uttered one swear word tonight.
Well, to be fair, Nick, I actually received 2 separate messages about your language last time out.
Did you?
I bet one of them, Danny.
Everyone else, people are just like, yeah, that's what they do. They're always fuck this, shit that, wanker this. But Nick does it, and it's like, right, I'm messaging it to Vifey.
Was it Danny? I bet Danny's put him in this place.
No, it wasn't. And I read earlier, actually, that she wasn't feeling very well, so I hope she gets better soon. But Nick, this is what happens when you portray yourself as someone who eats crab rolled salmon and wears a 3-piece suit to Christmas. You're not allowed to use the foul and abusive language.
And I think I've been very good tonight.
Mark, on the other hand, is on Team Ben. for balance, I would say. So I drew Argentina in the work sweepstake. So I have an invested interest, but all the way along, obviously I said I would rather the lady at work who got England got all the money. And then when England went out, I said, I'm fully on board with Morocco winning this World Cup. But now that it's a straight shootout between Argentina and France, I'll take the money, please. So I'll be quite happy.
Yes, Ben thinks you're a cunt.
I don't.
It wouldn't be the first time he's probably said it to me either, let's be honest. We've had more than our fair share of disagreements.
I've never said any rude words to you, though, Frank. I've never called you anything.
No, not to my face, anyway.
No.
Gents, it has been an absolute delight spending the last 2 hours with you. I enjoyed all your very strong opinions on all things Christmas. Thank you to everyone who submitted questions for us to answer and for joining us and joining in the chat. It was great to have you all engaged as well. We will be back on Monday, and we will have our usual 2 shows before Christmas, and then between Christmas and New Year, things may change a little bit, but we will announce that probably this time next week. But from myself, from Joe, from Nick, from Ben, who eventually turned up again, and from Woody, thank you very much. We've been Fools Rush In. Come on, Swindon. We'll see you on Monday.
Take